How you doing, everybody? So today on 5 Questions, I have Cayci Wathke here. So before we get started, I want you to know that she is kind of the fourth of the family to be going through the 5 Questions process. And so if you haven't noticed, between all of them, things that kind of, there's a progression here, and you may see that progression grow as we go forward. So with that being said, we're going to start off with the first thing here. So there's some childhood pictures here. As you can see, she's not a fan of that picture. And from what I understand, that she tried to hide certain pictures from everybody here. So we can bring that up here, and we'll set that up here as we go forward here. But this is just a nice young photo. How old were you at this picture?
That's my 5th grade school picture.
5th grade school picture here.
Grade.
So we will sit that. It took for a long time for them to find that picture. Just want you to know that, because I think, did you try to steal most of them?
I don't think I did.
Okay.
Maybe.
We'll just let that sit back there. We're gonna forget about that, right?
Great.
Awesome. That's exactly what we want here. So, all right. So let's start off.
Is that at least one of the 5? That does not count.
No, that's not. That's just kind of like, that's just the beginning, like the progression. That's the start. All right, so let's start off. So we talked about fighting already, so in our intro we talked about fighting here. So now, has there ever been a time when you went too far fighting with one of your siblings?
Probably with my stepbrother.
Okay.
And it's gotten a little rough because I'm older and he's younger, but I threw my weight around a little bit a couple times.
That's fair. I mean, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Fair enough. All right, good. So tell me a time when Carson went too far with you.
When Carson and I got in an argument one time when we were older. Mm-hmm. I was in high school, at least I've not graduated, so we hadn't fought like physically in a really long time. Okay. But there was one time we were really getting into it, and she like geared up and kicked me in the stomach, like in the bathroom. Yeah,
right?
Like hard.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So knock the wind out of you.
Or is that what it's about? Is that what she's getting at? That's not it. Is it the nosebleed thing?
No. What about the coffee table?
Oh, yes.
There it is. Let's hear this one.
Coffee table.
Okay.
So I was, back when I was working at Farm and Fleet, I was on my lunch break, and she was laying on the couch, and I kept pestering her. I kept trying to get our dog, Layla, to jump on her on the couch. Okay. And she gave me warnings, and she told me to stop, and then I didn't stop.
Fair
and
warnings.
Same thing. Yep. She reared up and kicked me, and I fell backwards through the coffee table. And
glass,
it was like
glass top?
the glass top in the center, and I went right through it.
So was she the one picking the glass out of your back?
No, that was my mom. My mom had to sweep me with a broom in the garage to get all the glass out. And Carson, my mom, when she was doing it, she said, "Don't think that you're not in trouble too." But she was helping me. So
that sounds like misty words.
Those are misty words.
That's fair. All right, wonderful. All right. So how loud and obnoxious are you when you blow your nose?
They tell me it's very loud.
That's what I hear. I think Carson's words, they could hear you across the stadium. They could point you out if that happened there.
I guess. I don't know. I just get it all out in one clean blow.
And I'm not one to judge. Don't get me wrong. If you're going to get it out, you got to get it out. We all do it.
It's loud.
There it is. Fantastic. All right. So now, how many car accidents have you been in?
2. Neither of them were my fault.
Really? Okay. So there's no accidents that you've ever been in that you didn't tell.
Chad is convinced that I did when I drove the Neon, but I never did. I never was in an accident with one. He thinks that I did.
What does he think that you did?
I think it's when the alternator went out on the old Beast, but it was like he said it was caked in snow, and he thought for sure I had to go into a ditch, but I never did. I'm not lying.
I'm going to tell you right now, that's a whole different story than he has.
What does he say?
No, he thinks that you did, that you drove into a ditch, you came back in.
I never did, because I wouldn't have been able to get it out. He is full of it. He's crazy. That never happened.
Nothing at Farm and Fleet? No side, no nothing of that? No.
Okay, he also thinks I ran into a cart in the Farm and Fleet parking lot when I wasn't paying attention, but what really happened is same thing.
Okay.
I was leaving in my car, and I was on my phone, parked, car not even running yet, and it was a windy day, and a stray cart that somebody didn't put away blew right into the front of the car.
Sure.
Yeah, and it was a bunk, and I looked up, and there was a cart in front of me.
All right.
I'm not lying.
I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong or lying or anything here, but love the fact that I have two different stories
Chad is
and two beliefs on
well,
that.
what are the stories?
That's exactly what you said. Those are the ones that they're
right.
talking about. So it's just fine. You're good.
All right,
You're
fine.
all right.
Okay.
Don't be angry.
All right.
You get this body language here.
I know.
All right. So what are fruit smiles?
They are my favorite fruit snacks in the whole world that I still eat even though I'm too old. Walmart brand, great value.
Your value? Just that's the way to go.
Yeah.
So now, when you were in middle school, what did you spend most of your lunch money on?
Well, they weren't fruit smiles because they didn't have them, but I used to get in trouble for eating in the a la carte line too much. Lots of cookies, probably some chips, nothing really like substantial for a meal.
That's fair.
Yeah,
Okay.
but then, so I was the oldest one, right? So
Yeah.
now all the other younger brother and sisters are going through a la carte, but they don't get in trouble.
Hey, there's somebody's got to pave the way, right?
That's right.
You take the
I'll
lumps
I'll
for
take the
everybody
heat
else.
for 'em.
There
Yep.
it is. All right, very good. So that's 4. Here's number 5 for you guys. All right. So who's Jelly?
Jelly was my imaginary friend when I was growing up.
And
I used to hold her hand and we would walk together.
Do
And my
you-
dad made me get rid of her.
do you still see Jelly?
No, I don't. She's
Oh, okay.
been gone for a long time.
So, like, about how old were you supposed to let her go?
I don't remember how old I was. I don't remember how old, but my dad made me flush her down the toilet. That's how she left us.
Sad day. Did you cry that day?
No, I don't think so. I was probably old. That's
Oh,
why.
no, like 15.
Yeah.
You're like, I've had
No,
enough. Okay.
it was not 15. It was not 15.
All right. So we don't do this often, but between Chad, Misty, and Carson, I got a lot of information. So we got a bonus question here. And this is by far my favorite one that I've just been dying to ask you this one. So now, how old were you when you were told and believed that dogs didn't have vaginas?
Oh my God! Okay, I was maybe in like 7th or 8th grade, maybe even a freshman in high school. I don't
Okay.
know, but my friend and I, Kirsten, my best friend from high school, were talking one day and I said something about a dog's vagina and she looked at me and she was like, dogs don't have vaginas. And I thought I was a freaking idiot. And I was like, okay, shoot.
Sure.
So my mom and Chad something one day and about a dog's vagina because that just something we talk about.
Sure, but why not, right?
Yep. And I said the same thing. I said, well, they don't have vaginas, and it has been ever since.
How long did you believe that?
Oh, I don't know, until it came up in conversation again. Probably
And then someone
a
corrected
year or
you?
two. Yeah, and then
Okay.
they set me straight.
So before you left high school,
Yes.
you knew.
Yeah, it got
How
straightened
that
out, I would
worked
say,
out.
by my sophomore or junior year. So a year or two.
Fantastic. That's it. As we got all the 5+ questions here. Cayci Wathke, thank you so very
Thank you.
much. Have a good day, guys.